Have you ever thought about the word witnessing? All of us have been witnesses, I believe, in some way or another to all kinds of different things. For example, maybe we witnessed an automobile accident, or maybe we witnessed a robbery in a store, or maybe we witnessed to an assault on the street. Or maybe we witnessed to the great event of the miracle of the birth of a child. Or maybe we even witnessed to a great play in a sporting event, be it football or baseball or golf. And yes, maybe we even witnessed to Jesus Christ by the way we live our lives every day. I believe witnessing is a part of our everyday life. It's a part of our faith, the way we live. Because think about this. Someone in each of our lives witnessed to the presence of Jesus Christ at the moment of our birth, at the time of our baptism. The witness of Jesus Christ given to you and I. And so to witness means to testify to something. And our parents testify to us by their example, the way they live the gospel message. They respond to the needs of the people around them, the way they live their life, the way they pray, the way they indeed proclaim Jesus Christ. It's in all of that that the life of Jesus Christ comes to life for all of us in our lives. Our parish community, for example, witnesses by our coming together here in this church, at this altar, to give thanks and praise to God for all that He has given to us. Everyone involved for this celebration, for example, witnesses to Christ. From the altar servers, to the deacon, to the lector, to the musicians, to the organist, to all of us gathered here, each and every one of us, young and old alike, we witness to Christ and are called to put our lives in action for the good of Jesus Christ. In the scriptures today, Paul and Barnabas had the task of proclaiming the good news, of announcing to the people who had never heard or known about Jesus Christ. They had to bring the true presence of God to the world in which they live. They needed to witness to Christ by what they said, what they did. They truly had a strong faith, a strong witness, a strong conviction that they were gifted in the message of the gospel because of who they were. Members of a community of faith that was formed around them, a community that believed and followed. Think about that. What an exciting moment in time. People hear the witness, experience the teaching, and gather around to hear more because of the hunger and the desire to know and serve Christ. Thus, you and I, as we gather here, as we celebrate the church, we indeed, through the gift of faith, prayer, and leadership, through the gift of worship and the people around us, we identify, we witness, and we celebrate our lives every day. What other words might come to your mind when you hear witnessing? It could be believing, could be putting into action, could be trusting. This, I believe, is how we all come to know Jesus Christ. Because we have all kinds of ways of witnessing to Christ here at St. Gregory the Great. We have over 85 ministries, from family faith formation, catechists to youth, to RCIA team, to marriage matters, to the choir, to altar servers, just to name a few. And it's all of that that allows you and I to be a part, to be effective witnesses to the love of our God, lived, celebrated, and shared here in our midst in our parish community. Isn't that exactly what Jesus' commandment in the gospel is all about today? Like Jesus, we are God's children, and when he tells us, love one another as I have loved you, he is asking all of us to be visible, tangible expressions of God's love in the world in which we live. Because to love is the greatest way to live our faith. To experience being loved is to experience the good news of Jesus Christ. An act of witness, an act of love, an act of prayer. Think back to Holy Thursday. Jesus knelt down, washed and kissed his disciples' feet, a true call to love and care for one another. Are we all capable to love one another as Christ has loved each of us? Let me share with you a story that I think is a true expression of true love. There was a registered nurse, and since 1967, it was not until the year 2002 that Connie discovered that there are an extensive number of young children caring for their parents. Her organization, American Association of Caregiving Youths, estimated that there are approximately 10,000 young caregivers in Palm Beach County alone. These children are willing to do anything to help their parents and do not ask for help, fearing the parents might be taken away from them. And parents fear the same, and the cycle continues, such as those 13-year-old Nicholas, who through his actions had cared for his mother. He would go and buy groceries, he would cook, he would clean, he'd do the laundry while his mother battled HIV. Her care became a full-time job because it involved dressing and helping her bathe. And when Nicholas's father died 2 years later, it left Nicholas little time to socialize, to study, to go to school. Because he said helping her is a bigger priority than going to school and getting an education. Nicholas says, because I feel if I don't have her, I don't want to go to school. Whatever happens to her happens to me. That organization, Caregiving Youth, established a program to help these children while encouraging schools to intervene in the academic careers of the young caregivers. Boca Raton Middle School responded first to offer special classes on how to cope with stress and anger, how to set goals, how to finance and learn about managing all those things. It offered an opportunity for the youth to go on field trips and camps so that they could enjoy their childhood. Although the parents' health conditions may remain the same, the children are comforted to discover that they are not alone. Nominated as one of the 2012 CNN's Heroes of the Year, that nurse, Connie, discovered kids trying to make all things new, or at least bearable for their parents. She found kids who loved beyond measure, and she wanted to offer support. Is that not what Jesus says today? Love one another as I have loved you. And Jesus also told us, this is how all will know you are my disciples, your love for one another. Is this not what children do when they care for their parents? They live the gospel of love. They witness to Jesus Christ. So you and I, we are all called to the gift of love. But how are we to do it? To care for elderly parents, to respond to the dying, to forgive the sinner who has hurt us, to help dry the tears of sadness and loss, to be the presence of love in all that we say and do for one another. As the popular song tells us, love will keep us together and love will see us through. Let us pray this morning and every day that we may witness to Jesus Christ, to love one another as Christ loves us, and be this gift for one another. That story was a small example of what children do for their parents. The gospel and the scriptures today are an example of how we must love one another as Christ has loved us. May the joy of the world around us, the beauty of Christ's love lived and celebrated, touch each of our hearts so that we might truly live the words of Christ today and every day. Love one another as I have loved you.